And most of y'all already know how we get down. So as you pop in, feel free to go ahead and start popping your information, contact info in the chat. Definitely want to always make sure in person and virtually we checking in and knowing who's in the room because there's a lot of connections that are always happening in these spaces. So please feel free to do that, especially if you're a new guest. Make sure we know who you are and we can make sure we follow up with you. All right, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and kick us off officially. First and foremost, want to thank y'all all, members, partners, and any invited guests for tuning in for our March virtual general meeting. As folks know, every other month we switch off to in person and then virtual and then in person. Um, but as I thank you, I also want to acknowledge something that's very special to a lot of folks on the screen here that if you did not know, we are all observing and celebrating Women's History Month. And I know folks like Amy Neal know that we're also this week in Women in Construction Week as well. So we wanted to make sure we honored that. And thanking you all, women-owned businesses, those that work in agencies as women in leadership, and certainly our NAMAC team that, if I'm being honest, our ratio is more women heavy than men heavy at NAMAC because we're smart men and we know women know what they're doing. So we get out the way when we need to. So again, just want to thank everybody for supporting Women's History Month and in particular Women in Construction Week. So you'll hear some social media stuff coming out from us before the month is out, but wanted to make sure we acknowledged all the vital roles you all play in this industry that needs to continue representing you all and growing women in construction. So thank you for that. I want to now shift to also, again, since we're in thanks, I want to thank all the partners and members who attended the NAMAC Midwinter Conference. It was a resounding success. It's not the biggest conference we do every year, but certainly one that is pretty intimate and had 12 different chapters across the nation of our 24 chapters across the nation come. And there was a lot of attendance, connections made, and what I remember a lot of the national members saying as we learned a lot about how Oregon works, certainly a lot about the D certification of DBE and they had their pencils out and were very studious on how well organized we are in this chapter. So was very happy to hear that from a lot of our chapters across the nation. So it doesn't happen by just us. It was a lot of you all that were there to participate. So thank you for making the time to be there. The other thing I wanted to also make sure folks were aware of is that we are hosting and I would love folks who have not just registered yet. We are hosting our first partners only meeting next week. And on March 11th, there's two different slots, and I want to make sure people appropriately sign up that haven't already. The first slot is at 1 p.m. for public agency partners followed by 3 p.m. next Wednesday. I think that's March 11th for the contractor partners to attend. We wanted to split them up so that we can have kind of different conversations at different levels and make sure that we are intentionally hearing both partnership sides around what you're seeing in the landscape of opportunities or barriers or things that you want to learn from our members or our members need to learn from you all so we can send those messages around partner advocacy, partner support for economic development opportunities in the construction landscape. So I'm hoping that partners on both sides of those categories are signing up because we definitely want to create that space for you all. And that is virtual. We're not asking y'all to come in person. So please sign up if you have not. Orlin is putting it in the chat. So just make sure you look into the chat if that's easy for you. Just because we want to make sure you're there if you can be there. As I said earlier, every other month changes. The caveat to that is in April, only because we have our first trade show of the year held here. We are not going to have a general meeting in April. We hope that the trade show becomes its own organic, even bigger I guess, kind of meeting, if you will, where you could still bring your projects as partners. As y'all know, we do a reverse trade show where we put our members in the booths and ask our partners to come and kind of walk the room. Please do, partners, bring stuff that you feel relevant that you would normally bring to a general meeting. And we probably will have some guest speakers. We are asking some of our electeds to come and open up, if you will, like we've done in other trade shows. So don't want to announce who we have yet, but we've got some exciting folks that we plan on inviting for April that certainly speak to construction and workforce that I know would love to kind of learn and get to know a lot of our members and partners a lot better. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be advertising that as well. Um, and then I also wanted to announce that we have some new members and partners. And I don't know if Epic Electric is here, but we wanted to make sure that folks knew who Isaiah Holt was of Epic Electric. They're doing a lot of great work. They just signed on new in the year and would love for them to get to know a lot of our partners moving forward. And then equally, we have a couple of new partners as well. We have Environmental Works, Middle of Six, and Harder Mechanical, who are certainly those folks looking for opportunities to engage with our members at a subcontractor level, as well as just kind of be in this ecosystem of diversity amongst our group to just feel the family oriented kind of atmosphere that we all create at the NAMAC level. So I'm just excited to hear those folks coming on and a new community partner. Would not say that they have not been around us for a long time, but they officially signed up for what we call a MOU kind of agreement on how our community partners share resources and opportunities. And we're thankful in having Oregon tradeswomen officially sign on as a community partner that we can certainly work a lot with in the workforce space to effectuate more change for women in construction and make sure that the women coming out of Oregon tradeswomen get hired and retained for the long haul. So looking forward to that work with them. We're building some bridges with them. So it's just exciting to see that the family is growing. We also have a new announcement because the team is starting to broaden out as well and wanted to have you all welcome our newest contributor to the NAMAC family and our new marketing coordinator, Ariana Thomas, who is here. I said Thompson, excuse me. Ariana Thomas, who is here with us. She's waving her hand. I don't know if you want to unmute and just say hi real quick if you feel comfortable, but she'll be helping assist Orlin. You got it real quick, Ariana, if you want to say hi.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and I'm really excited to join this team and help NAMAC grow through marketing. So, yeah.
Good stuff. So y'all be on the lookout as she continues to kind of get trained up and learn all the members and needs, if you will. She'll be stepping up to support design kind of work that y'all might need, some other kind of social media related things. But she's a sponge and she'll be reporting and working alongside Orlin. So if those needs exist and certainly welcoming her, please all do that as she comes on board in her, I think, second week at NAMAC. So again, happy to have her helping round out the team. And then if I could shift to, if y'all did not notice the agenda, I love, love, love saying this, but we got a lot of school projects on the agenda today. And I'm very excited that we're going all the way from elementary school all the way to college with these, contracting opportunities and presentations today. So as always, we've got Con and the team in the room who are really going to make sure that when any partners presenting opportunities, whether it's the agency or the contractor doing some of the work, that we kind of keep a running list of, checking back in to make sure our members have gotten the bid information and then did it result in a potential contract award or what happened in between. We want to make sure the data collection he's doing obviously is something that you guys respond to. So as I say that, and in my announcement, I actually want to give Contran the floor, our director of policy, who has some announcements. And after him, the team have some other announcements before we get into the agenda. So with that said, Con, you've got the floor.
Thanks, Nate. Afternoon, everyone. Con Tran here, your local friendly policy director for NAMAC. Just want to give you some quick rundown on the short session we had this year. It's coming to a close, has to come to a close by this Sunday. Chances are it'll probably come to a close sometime Friday. The couple bills that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention that kind of affects our industry. First and foremost, let's start with some of the bad news first. Senate Bill 1507, you may know as a decoupling bill from the federal tax code that Oregon passed recently, I think last week. Please talk to your tax professionals about how that affects your business and probably how you affects you personally. Most of the stuff is going to be to kind of serve to save taxes for Oregon to decouple from the IRS and to kind of give us some more tax revenue back. It's a quite a lengthy bill, but the big portion of it that I wanted to make aware to everyone here would be that because of that decoupling, we are now no longer able, Oregonians are now no longer able to benefit from the bonus depreciation allowed under HR 1, which allows you to uh, remove 100% of new equipment purchased on any immediate taxes to be written off of your taxes that year. Obviously, I bring this up because construction is a very front-heavy business. We buy a lot of equipment and machines, vehicles up front, and construction takes a lot of time, and it's really nice to be able to take that tax off. Whereas now you have to pay it over time, which, as you know, affects timelines and costs of projects and hiring and all that stuff. So, please, if you haven't seen the bill, look into it. Senate Bill 1507. Talk to your tax specialist, and if you have any more questions about it, give me a call as well. The other bill, and better news that passes, Senate Bill 1501, that if those of you following those sports fans will probably know that it's the Moda Center renovation. It just recently, I think, just passed today. So, good news there is the Moda Center would now be renovated. I think it's a $600 million project they're expecting. So that means a lot of jobs for our Portland local companies and frankly, folks outside of the metro area, right? It's a big renovation. It's a big project for the state and for Portland. And more importantly, it means the Trailblazers are probably going to stay in Portland for a longer amount of time, which means just more revenue, more small business to support that big venue and those big teams, right? Whether you're a sports fan or not, having a sports team in your city is a huge economic driver. And this renovation is also very big for our members. So a bit of good news there. I plan on having a much more kind of in-depth briefing at the next our next meeting, next general meeting. But just two big bills that would affect us right now that I wanted to share with everyone. And again, session's coming to a close. If you have any questions on bills, those bills or any other bills or any summary of session that you'd like from me, please reach out. You know how to contact me. And if any, it's got a lot of familiar faces around here, so this won't surprise you, but I'm also the data guy as Nate mentioned earlier. So the members, I am now putting a survey, my usual survey into the chat. If you are a member, please click that form, fill out that survey with your information. It's basic business information stuff about yourself that you should already have inputted when you became a member of ours. Again, this is just purely for us to educate ourselves on your work and to showcase your work and all the work that our members and partners do across the state and kind of so then we tell those stories and those achievements to our stakeholders, our policymakers and legislators to kind of show them the work that you're doing and the impact that you have. This all obviously will stay with us and will be confidential, but please, 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 if you haven't already, please fill out that information. I will be asking every time I see you. So that's it for me.
Good stuff. Thank you, Khan. I think we've got Tiana up next. You
Good
good?
afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I was having a little technical difficulties. I hope you all are doing very good. As you know, my name is Tiana Trice, and some of you may know that I have inherited NAMC-U. So starting in quarter 2, I will be your point of contact for NAMC University. We are wrapping up quarter 1 of our education programs, and I'm still on the lookout for folks to teach NAMC-U for quarter 2, as well as lunch and learns. So if you're interested and you don't know what that looks like, please reach out to me so we can have that conversation. I'm always available. You can email me, you can message me here, call me here at the office. Um, excuse me, sorry. And then we have our last and final lunch and learn, which is coming up. It's on March 13th. This class is hybrid, which means that it is taught in person and you can also just tune in online. Um, Narwhal Law will actually be teaching this class, and the topic is a Q&A with a business lawyer. This class is especially important for any of you who do not have any legal representation, and you have some questions that you want to ask a legal representative. So feel free to join that class either virtually or in person. And I believe the flyer is being dropped in the chat now. That's it for me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Tiana. And then we'll hand it over to Kevin now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see everyone. It's been a while, not too long. Just wanted to name drop very quickly the remaining trainings for NAMAC University Q1. If you hadn't seen our socials, we do have a NAMAC University training tomorrow afternoon, which is titled How to Get More Leads and Never Miss a Call. Some of you are already using AI systems in handling some of your communications. I feel this would be very helpful for some of our smaller companies who are curious and want to ask some questions. We have a good presenter who will be able to give you some feedback and hopefully get you a little bit more informed. Our remaining presentations after that will be looking at more business finances, and you'll be hearing more about that as per usual closer to the day. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself and or Tiana, and we'll make sure you get all the answers you need. That's all from me. Back to you, Nate.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. So just to set the stage, I want folks to know that we have three presentations today. At the end of those three presentations, we'll have time at the end for any partners that might have some new announcements. One has already hit me up in the private chat, so I will call on them first. But if anybody else has an announcement they want to make, feel free to raise your hand or do me a private chat real quick so that I know you have something you want to say towards the end, because we might have the chance to end early if the sun is still out a little bit. But other than that, I would like to ask PCC to unmute and talk about some upcoming opportunities at PCC.
Great, thank you, Nate. I'm going to share my screen. Help me determine if that worked.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I am Amy James Neal. I'm with Portland Community College in the Office of Planning and Construction, and a couple of my colleagues are here with me. We'll hand it off as their part comes up in the slide deck. But we're here to talk about kind of two projects. It's the PCC is building a new building out in Hillsborough. So it was previously referred to as our Block 56 project. So it's not separate from that. We're just not calling it Block 56 anymore because on that same block, there are going to be two buildings built and we're only building one of them. So we're now referring it to as our Hillsborough Center. What we're here to talk about are two things. One, the design aspect of that project is coming out, and the construction, the CMGC aspect of that project is going to be listed later this year, probably June or July. So we're going to talk about the project just to give you lots of runway in terms of which aspect of it you may be interested in proposing on. Particularly that CMGC side, we've got till June and July there's a lot of things in doing business with PCC we want to talk about. So I'm going to see if I can get this to advance. I'm going to kick this over to my colleague, Gary. He manages our project management team, and he's going to walk us through sort of, the technical aspects of the project. Gary, you on the call?
Yeah, Amy, I'm here. Thanks for passing it over. So, good afternoon again. I'm Gary Sutton. I work in the Office of Planning and Capital Construction. I work with Amy and Janaea. They're both on the screen here with us today. So, as Amy mentioned, I'm filling in. We have a project manager who's assigned for this project. Her name's Jessie Steiger. She's out. She's on vacation. So, I'm filling in. So I'm gonna just give you all a quick little kind of overview. There isn't a lot of detail because we don't have an architect on board yet. So what I can tell you is kind of what the 10,000, 12,000 foot view of kind of what we want to do out there. So Again, this is a project out in Hillsboro. For those who are familiar, it's near the Tuality Health Clinic out there. It's off of Baseline, near the Max line there between 5th and 6th Avenue. So it's a block there. We're going to be building, like we mentioned, two buildings. Um, we're going to be building one building. PCC is building one building. It's going to be about 30,000 square feet, roughly three-story building. It's going to be primarily focused on healthcare. So it'll be labs, chemistry, biology labs, general purpose classroom space, and then office space, and then student loungy kind of student centric spaces as well. So that gives you a basic understanding of like what's going to be in the building. There'll be a parking lot associated with this, so there'll be site work associated with the parking and all that. Again, this is a joint venture of sorts that we're doing with the Hillsborough School District and Virginia Garcia. Virginia Garcia is going to be building a building directly adjacent to ours. I don't know what the size of that building is. It's going to be bigger than ours, so I would guess somewhere between 40 and 50,000 square feet for that building. But again, I don't have a lot of details there. Yeah, next screen. So again, 30,000 square feet, three-story building. This will be a lead project, so we try to strive for at least lead silver. We're going to go for lead gold on this project. We have a budget of 20 million. I think that's short. I think that number is going to be closer to probably 30 when this is all said and done, just because of construction costs and a number of other things that drive up these numbers. So, schedule wise, like we mentioned, we're close to putting out the RFP for our design services. So this is going to be an RFP that will go out likely, hopefully, fingers crossed, before the end of this month, but likely probably trickle into April before that would go out. So look for that for those of you who are designers, engineers, architects out there. That'll be hitting the street in soon. And then we usually like to put the CMGC contracting RFP out about 3 months or so after that. That gives us time to get through that process, make a selection. We usually like to have those architect that whoever we award the project, we like to have them as beyond the board, beyond our team to help us make the contractor selection. So that's why we have a gap in between there. It makes a lot of sense. We're going to be married to one another for 18 to 24 months, and so we all want to pick the right folks, right? So that'll be kind of the cadence. So like Amy mentioned, for you contractors out there, I would look late summer, early fall for that to hit the streets. But we'll be in contact with you. Amy and Janaea come to all these meetings. They'll keep you abreast of what's going on. So that's what I got.
Great. Thanks, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move on to some of the things that you'll need to know if you're looking to propose on either of these. Just our personal flavor as a public owner. So I want to talk about our workforce and contracting development requirements, and this includes 4 things. We're going to talk about our workforce training and hiring program briefly. We'll talk about our small business development program briefly. We'll talk about our required teaming arrangement on this project, both on the design side and the construction side briefly. And then we'll also talk about our respectful worksite programming. Ideally, this gives you plenty of runway to kind of look into these and determine, how you would get your firm ready to compete for that CMGC in June or July by understanding what our requirements are going to be. Okay, so next slide. Okay, workforce training and hiring program. PCC is super committed to craft worker development. This is something that the college is committed to and our team is personally dedicated to. So we're going to be looking for strong utilization of diverse workers on our projects. So just know that our workforce training and hiring program does look into that. We are active owners in terms of compliance on this. And we don't really see ourselves as like compliance in the traditional method. We are working as partners with you to expand opportunity to our craft workers. So just know that this is something that we take seriously as an owner. So we are going to be looking to work with you to ensure that there's equitable opportunity for craft worker development on the project. So this takes the form of a workforce training and hiring program. Technically speaking, what that means is that $50,000 or more in subcontractors, you will need to submit a workforce plan that outlines, like, how are you going to find your workers? How are you going to expand opportunity for the communities that we serve? So what we're going to be looking for is that we're looking for 20% of the labor hours to be worked by registered apprentices. We can help with this. We are deeply connected with workforce advocacy and organizations in this region, so we can absolutely help with that. You also must track your labor hours in LCP Tracker if you have a subcontract of $50,000 or greater. So the reason we do this is to make sure that we are walking our talk in terms of craft worker inclusion and advancement. But we also have a public dashboard, and all of the data from our projects, including subconsultant utilization, subcontractor utilization, all the craft workers disaggregated by all of the different possible categories, shows up on our public website. So this is why we collect it. We want to be accountable to the members that we serve. So you can always find that information on every single one of the projects that PCC undertakes. Okay, next. Utilization requirements, again, this is just having to do with the fact that in our region, there is a huge deficit of workers. The Interstate Bridge Replacement Project outlined that we have an enormous workforce shortage. So that is why we are so dedicated to making sure that there's the utilization of craft workers, but also that they can learn and grow as individuals on our construction project. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our subcontracting opportunities on this project through our small business development program. So I'm going to kick it over to my colleague Janaea Bjornstrom to talk about these next couple slides.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, everyone. My name is Janaea Bjornstrom, and my title at the Office of Planning and Construction is the Small Business Coordinator. And part of my job is to ensure that the prime contractor who was awarded this project is in compliance with our small business development program. The reason that we require the SBD program is because the state of Oregon did a disparity study and documented an underutilization of subcontractors when compared to availability. So this is why the college is committed to expanding opportunities and building capacity for our subcontractors and small businesses in our district. Sorry, I have dogs here. Bear with me. Next slide, please. And then this is a quick review. It's a summary of our small business development program. I'm so sorry, everyone. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Here's a quick review of our small business development program. And this is my job is to make sure that the prime contractor is checking all of these boxes that's in our program. And like, for example, when there's bid packages that are coming out, whenever it's going to be posted, we expect the prime to do a good faith effort outreach to our subcontractors and to also notify trade associations like NAMC, PBDG of any upcoming subcontracting opportunities. Next slide. And so the most impactful requirement for this project is our teaming arrangements. We're doing it both on the design side and the construction side. And these teaming arrangements are designed to be an intentional partnership between the prime and one small firm that outlines a specific measurable skills exchange. And also just being mindful that this will be like a business marriage, just for lack of a better term. Next slide, please. And lastly, this is what PCC looks for in our teaming arrangements. It's a clear mentorship and skills transfer, a meaningful scope aligned with growth goals, regular communication and accountability, and shared accountability between the prime and the small firm. And the reason why PCC uses teaming arrangements is to strengthen small business capacity on our public projects, and also to improve project outcomes through collaboration and to create sustainable pathways for future work. And I did want to point out what teaming is not. Teaming is not an unpaid mentorship. It's not replacing a subcontract, and it's not informal help. It's meant to be a structured, documented partnership. Next slide. Oh, And I will pass it off to Amy, who will talk about respectful work sites.
Thanks, Janaea. I'm going to back up if I can. And I want to pause on teaming arrangements for just a second. So these are really incredibly valuable opportunities to improve access to Portland Community College's construction projects for small firms. Some small firms, they just don't have a portfolio big enough to compete for the larger projects, but they want to sort of peek behind the curtain at how the owner interfaces with the GC and those kinds of things. So that's one way that our teaming arrangements have kicked off in the past. But whatever it is that the small firm is looking to develop, that's what these are for. So we are going to be scoring how you bring your project with your teaming partner. It is part of how we select the GC and their teaming partner. So do not sleep on the questions around teaming arrangements. This needs to be an intentional arrangement where you have identified what the skills exchange is going to be, how you're going to get there, how that's going to improve the position of the small business to better compete in the future in whatever respect they want. So this is something that is that we take very seriously. And again, I just want to enforce that or reinforce that we are scoring based on this. This is one of the things that we look at very closely in the proposals. I also want to mention that if your firm is currently on a PCC project as a teaming partner, you are not eligible to meet the criteria of being a teaming partner on either of these projects. It does not mean you can't be on the project. It doesn't mean even that you could be a teaming partner. It just won't check PCC's box for you being a teaming partner. These arrangements are very, very valuable, and we want to make sure that we're cycling new firms through to take advantage of this sort of unique, again, peek behind the curtain. It's a position and an increase in capacity building that we want to make sure that we're spreading out among the NAMAC's members. So if you've been on a PC project as a teaming partner within the last year, you're not eligible. Then, a year later, if you still need development, we will consider that. But again, we want to spread the opportunity. Okay, I'm going to move quickly because I feel like we're taking up a lot of time. We also are going to require a respectful worksite program on both the design side and the construction side. This is an intentional reinforcement of psychological safety in the exact same way that we currently reinforce physical safety. We talk about physical safety every day. We reinforce it. We model it. We want to talk about psychological safety in the same way. So if you, there are off-the-shelf products. So in fact, I think it's my next slide. Yep, there are off-the-shelf products that you can tap into. PCC pays for it. What we're looking for is worker development and retention, and we do that through culture change work, which is why we require these programs. And if you attended the Construction Mental Health and Wellbeing Conference last week that was hosted in Portland, you understand why we're doing this. Suicide is rampant in our industry. That's why we're doing this. BidLocker, this is where we post all of our RFPs at this time. We're going to change that later, but right now, if you go to BidLocker, you will see everything that we post. Nate, I'm not sure if we're taking questions now or you want to save this for the end of.
Well, no. I think if you guys are done with your presentation, let's do questions now. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
I will stop sharing.
And I actually have one, and James has one before me. I'll let James go first, and then I have one. Go ahead, James.
No, you're the boss. You go first.
Oh, well, the boss don't mind letting the members, one of the member bosses, have his space too. I can go after you. No worries. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I was very interested in the partnership arrangement. So when is it due? When is the proposal coming out?
Well, sorry, James. I think I missed part of your question. So the CMGC is going to post in probably June or July, but I'll tell this, I can say it in this space now that we are very, very likely going to host an information session, which is what we typically do on these projects where we require teaming arrangements, well before the mandatory pre-proposal. And it's kind of a place where subs can meet with GCs that are interested in proposing and start to develop those relationships. So we're probably going to do that April-ish, maybe early May, but likely more April. So of course, we'll be in touch with the NAMAC team to push that out. So that would be a great opportunity for you to, I mean, if you don't, I'm sure you already have relationships with a lot of primes that would be interested in proposing on the Block 56 project. But if you want to expand sort of your connection with interested primes, I will reach out personally and invite you to the info session where the primes are going to be pairing with interested subs.
Thank you. Thanks much.
All right, I'll get my two out the tank right now. And then if any other members, partners, or anybody have a question, please raise your hand. Amy, two quick things. I want to go back to good faith effort, which gives me a lot of consternation at times. I'm hoping, I heard y'all say that you'll check in with the trade associations. I'd love to make sure I know who's responsible with checking in with those firms who may be getting reached out to, because I know at times in the past people have said they were labeled on good faith effort like sheets that somebody reached out to only find out that it was just an email sent with no response back. So again, just want to make sure that we can help do our part to support folks actually connecting, as you said. Um, and then the only other kind of question is, I noticed that the threshold of 50,000 is different than what I am used to seeing for workforce kind of training and hiring, which is normally 100,000. Is there a reason why y'all lowered it to 50,000 instead of 100?
Yes, because we want to know the workers that are on our site. We ultimately we want to know who's on our site, what they represent. The other part of it is that most of our contracts are, some of our contracts are just expensive. So it's $50,000 in labor. So it's not $50,000 contracts in labor. And that's because we buy a lot of expensive equipment. If there's just somebody coming out and plugging in a machine or something, we're not going to ask them to track. But ultimately what it comes down to is we don't want to be surprised by who's on our projects. We don't want that. There's not a certain dollar threshold where our commitment to workforce kicks in and where it just doesn't. So we ultimately, if you're there and you're making money on our project, we want to know who you're making that money with.
Got it, got it. And it
But,
doesn't necessarily have to be an apprentice, because I know that's where the challenge might be, is like, man, I mean, I got a $50,000 scope on labor. Like, I can't afford to have an apprentice and, so, okay. It's just more like,
100%. Like if you can't make the ratios because you have a small crew, that's something that we absolutely understand. I mean, we're not going to be unreasonable and make you bring people out if you can't put them to work. That doesn't you can't make money that way. So
absolutely. All
but
right,
I
no,
want to go
appreciate
back to the first thing you were saying about good faith. And again, I know we're taking up space, so I'll keep it short.
No, you're good. You're good.
We have a whole program that I'd love for NAMC to take another look at. I mean, you did review it, so I think you have some idea of what it is, but let's have another pass at that. The other thing is that all first tier subcontracts go through Genea. So before they're posted by the prime, they go through the Genea, so she can sort of identify opportunities for outreach, first of all, collaborative outreach, but also so she can identify places in which those subcontracting packages can be broken up. And she's good at intervening there. So that's another way where we aren't just being like, oh, sure, we reached out to this group of people, done. That's not our intent here. So it's a more developed program than that.
Got it. Got it. Appreciate those answers. One last question of Amy or team? And if not, certainly you can ask questions in the chat as well. All right, scanning, seeing none. Thank you, Amy, Janaea, and the other colleagues of PCC who presented today. Now I want to
Nate,
pivot to, yep.
I
Did I
did
miss
put my
some?
question in the chat, Renee Ward.
Oh, okay,
Will
perfect.
any of these deck presentations be available for future reference?
Absolutely. Every meeting, we will definitely make those available to you all.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. Up next is Lease Crutcher Lewis to talk about McLaughlin Elementary School, where I know my son plays a lot of basketball over there in Vancouver. So I'm looking forward to hearing what y'all got going. So please, Lease Crutcher Lewis, unmute yourself, and you're the next presenter.
All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So we are doing John McLaughlin Elementary School in Oregon City. And we are in pre-con right now with the district and the design team. And we are about to go out to bid. So wanted to make sure everyone knew about it. Let's see here. Hold on. There we go. It's a 50,000 square foot phased renovation of an existing elementary school. It's approximately a 17-month project. We're advertising here in the next week. We have a tentative date for the bid walk. So once we confirm that, we'll get that in the advertisement. But tentatively, it's March 18th. And then bid packages are going to include demo, abatement, excavation, paving, site concrete, rough carpentry, storefront, glazing, masonry, dorm frames and hardware, drywall, painting, casework, finished carpentry, tile, flooring specialties, fire sprinkler, and food service equipment. We've already got our mechanical and our plumbing contractor on board, kind of a design assist situation, but we are looking forward to having lots of opportunities for people to bid this project. So yeah, it's phased. So I'm going to kind of just draw over the phase area. So it's basically 1/3 of the school each phase, starting this summer. And that is really it for my presentation.
Any questions? One that I have is, have you set goals for this project?
There are no goals for the project, but we are making our effort to bring as much as possible.
Okay. I appreciate hearing that. Any members have questions around the John McLaughlin Elementary School project?
I have a question, John, on this project, Daniel.
Yeah.
Since it being 3 phases, are you wanting the material broken out in the bid by 3 phases, or is the expectation you guys are going to have storage on site that we're ordering it all at the initial order, or do you need it broken out?
It depends on the bid package and lead times. So, like if doors, frames, and hardware, for example, the first phase we're going to be requesting a quick ship, but not for the other 2 phases. So we do have some storage on site, but it is limited.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
This one may be obvious, but is this coming out in Building Connected? I didn't hear you say where you guys.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, it will come out in Building Connected. We will advertise in a couple places. I know DJC for one, and then a few other places. We're trying to finalize that as we speak. But everything will be in Building Connected, plan specs, all of our bid packages, all of our breakouts, that sort of thing.
All right, good stuff. Any other questions? Appreciate you, Chris, asking some of those questions. All right, hearing no others, thank you, Daniel, for the presentation on the elementary school in Oregon City and not the one I thought it was in Vancouver. All right, and last but not least on the agenda to present is Skanska to talk about the Cleveland High School project. Would love to give Matt the floor.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Let me set this up to share.
And Matt, just as you get ready, we got staff that went to both Jefferson and Cleveland, and Tiana's one of them. So she was saying Matt better come correct on, making sure Cleveland looks good.
That's the goal. You seen the presentation here?
Yes, it looks like a beautiful school once built.
Yeah, this is not the school, but it is a cool looking slide.
Oh, that's not part of it. Okay, got you.
Cleveland's in my heart. My kids go to Roosevelt, so there's a lot of challenges there. All right, so here's what we're going to cover. I've got 10 or 11 slides. Cleveland High School, it is one of 3 high schools that is going to be renovated by PPS over the next 3 years, all kind of on the same timeline. So summer of 26 to summer of 29. This is Cleveland. This is the new school, an image of that in the upper right. Um, if you've been to Cleveland, you kind of have seen how it's been built on over the years, and they really kind of lack some space. And so they've really tried to emphasize that with the courtyards, some open space, and it's a 4-story building. $370 million is the construction value currently. Again, it's really the summer of this year through summer of 29. The students are going to be moved out to Marshall High School, Vicinity Division and 205, for the 3 years that we're under construction. Cleveland has some challenges in terms of the logistics. This is 26th and Powell is roughly where we're located. We have the main project site. The district does own the west parking lot there on the west side of 26th. And then if you're familiar with the high school, you know that the stadium is several blocks away from the main site. So we've got work on all three areas. There is some potential negotiation for some additional work on Powell Park, but we're still kind of working with the district and Portland Parks and Recs on exactly what that scope is. This is kind of describing where we've been and a little bit of where we're at right now in terms of some of the bid packages. I will describe the team that we have on board in a later slide. We just closed on the demo and abatement bid package, and we're working on a recommendation to PPS right now. And then upcoming, we have some pre-construction scopes involving fire suppression and some of the envelope trades. And then we can kind of look at what's up ahead beyond that. Our construction schedule is the last day of school in June, and then we have demolition. It's about 6 months of demolition, followed by excavation foundations, looking at structure in roughly May of 2027. There's also a stadium renovation that's about 18 months that overlaps with some of that, and then the interior build out finishing up in the summer of 2029. And then the kids would come back to the school in the first academic year, fall of 29, back in the new high school. These are some of the goals, some of the challenges that we're facing. Definitely trying to emphasize the community engagement. It is a relatively old building, so there's some challenges there with both trying to preserve aspects of it as well as incorporate that into the new design. We don't have a lot of laydown, and we definitely have some challenges with craft workers and parking. And then you probably all know Powell Boulevard is very busy. So that's going to be a challenge that's right along the south edge of our project site. PPS has committed to a goal of 18% in terms of our MWESB participation. And that's something that Skanska is definitely trying to emphasize. We currently have a few different trade partners on board, Total Mechanical, Prairie Electric, Anning Johnson, and Fott Rifa, as well as some of the other firms listed up there with Just Right Heating, O'Neill, Interior Exterior Specialties, Kodiak Pacific, and Southdown. And then these requirements, the 18% goal is really also something that each of these team members needs to adhere to as well. So it's not just a Skanska goal, but it's something that the entire team needs to also achieve those goals.
Quick question, Matt, on that
Yeah,
before you switch. I mean,
sure.
because there's a difference between DBE and MWESB. Is this an all DBE 18% goal, or are you kind of blending both?
It is not just DBE. The term that PPS is using is certified business. And so in my My memory of this is that it encompasses both COVID certified
And
MW,
DBE.
MWESB, yes, sir. And
Yep.
then the DBE, which is I think the federal.
Yep. Yep.
So this is not my area of expertise, so I hope
No,
I
I
got that
got you.
right.
So it's basically you're blending both is what I figured is was happening
Yes,
because,
sir.
yep. Okay. Sounds good. Just want to
Great
make sure
question.
folks are clear. Yep.
This is part of the team. Ryan Richards as the exec, me before my beard, Patrick and David. But it's going to be a pretty big group, and we're excited to kind of get things going. This is a little bit more about the team. Malum is the architect. PPS is the owner. They've also worked with Presidio as the program manager, and then some of the design team members there that are all contributing to the effort. That sort of wraps up my portion. Any questions?
Only thing I would want to make sure you knew, Matt, is our very own NAMAC team is a part of the Presidio owners rep team as well. Kenyatta Trice wears both hats, if you will, representing Presidio and NAMAC on that team. And we're in the final stages of a PM that we will have assigned to support all three of the projects. So please do reach out as Colas and Hoffman have on their projects outside of just our general meetings. Just want y'all to know that you can call on NAMAC around, inquiries or follow-ups and follow-throughs on opportunities because we're here to help the whole bond.
Question.
Great.
Yes.
Sure.
Renee
Question.
Ward, Renee Ward, Smart Oregon Solutions. Couple things. First of all, I'm proud to say back then I was a Cleveland Indians class of 79 alumni, and so my heart is in that as well as our COO, Barry Redmond. Question, what are they doing for the parking lot? Are they doing a footbridge at all over that? I can't see the design from here, but I'm just curious for the safety of the students. And then two, who is Presidio? Can you share that, Nate, who Presidio is?
Yeah, Presidio is a out-of-state owner's rep from Texas that has landed kind of the oversight scope for the whole entire Portland Public School bond for the three high schools, Ida B. Wells, Jefferson, and Cleveland. And so we're
Mhm.
part of their team. I'd say we're their equity partners, if you will, to kind of have boots on the ground. We obviously have a lot of the contractors and folks in our network, and Kenyatta Trice is part of that team. So we're just there to make sure not just NAMAC members, but as many small businesses can find their way on the project and helping Presidio and the contractors.
And is this a solid goal now? I know we've been up and down yo-yoing with the last three schools, that this is for sure moving forward now.
Yes, all the way up to Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong, who was very clear. We need to move on these schools so that the kids can have these schools finally built and have them be as nice as they can while they're getting educated.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And then one more announcement, and then certainly folks can ask questions. Wanted to introduce Liz Messberg, who is the new, I think, subcontractor outreach manager. But Liz, if you want to say hi to the group, because we know you're a new face to the family of NAMAC.
Hey everybody. So NAMAC's not new to me. I've been to some meetings, but I'm super excited to be on this side for Skanska. And as Nate mentioned, I'm the new subcontractor engagement manager. And 2/3 weeks ago, I was on the other side. I was a part of a COVID certified low voltage electrical firm. So I've bid to Skanska, I've bid to the other big GCs. And I'm really excited to be on this end and try to make the process better for everybody. So please reach out. I did just start. This is my third day. So give me 5 minutes to get spun up. But after that, my inbox is open and really excited to be working with Matt on this PPS project. I have kids in the Ida B. Wells. They're in middle school right now. So it'll be during all this construction. So your concerns are my concerns, and very excited to see this stuff kick off. So thank you for the welcome, Nate.
Absolutely. Any questions about the project outside of what Renee asked? Yep, James, go ahead. And you're muted, James.
Technology.
We don't want you muted.
What I was wondering is if there's going to be information on all of these projects were presented today, so we can so we can have people that we can contact and ask questions.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think it's pretty standard for us after the general meetings to get that information out. If not by the end of the week, usually Monday at the latest. So definitely, James, we'll make sure all members get it. And then, like I said earlier, follow up to make sure you guys got all the information you need to be interested or not in bidding the work. So we will definitely make sure, James.
Thanks, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And Chris?
Sorry, I had to jump on a call, so this may have already been asked and answered, but this being a 3-year project, is there price escalation going to be written into the contract, or are we buying out material all up front?
We're trying to buy out really the majority of this up front. That's the goal. I think we do have some trade partners that are on board early, and so they're helping us kind of navigate this to kind of forecast what might be ahead.
Good stuff. Any other questions? I know, James, still you got your hand up.
I got one more question.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't know if it was just still up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just was wondering if you knew if there was going to be a parking structure connected to that.
No, and to Renee's question about whether there's a bridge to the west parking lot, there's really not. The west parking lot, it gets a little bit of attention, really, with kind of a modified landscaping plan, some new asphalt, but really there's not a huge structure or anything going on there. And there's certainly not a bridge placed there. From what I've seen, the school district seems to use that more for staff and for busing and those kind of events rather than kids. So that's at
Wow.
least where that's at.
Can I have a follow-up
That's a
question?
little parking lot.
Follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Was there an impact study on, I mean, I went to school there and that's several years ago. So I'm just wondering how the neighbors, the impact study as it relates to that, considerations were given. I'm really surprised and sort of shocked by that because I could foresee a multi-level parking structure for the students, for the community. And that's why I was asking about the footbridge. That's why I was asking. So that's unfortunate. I'm not happy as an alumni. That's not good.
I'm not aware of an impact study. That's really all I know in terms of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none. Matt, thank you for the presentation and certainly happy that Liz is coming on in a more intentional way with us for Skanska. Want to open it up for announcements. And before I do, one last school project opportunity is being shared in the chat because Miss Rebecca Kilgore of the Colas Hoffman joint venture for Jefferson asked me to put what I just dropped in the chat because they have the first package going out on the fields at Jefferson and all of our members that do the slated work. I know we got some civil earthwork contractors here, some site concrete contractors. So landscape, please look at that because there's going to be some on-site pre-bid opportunities for those that went to Jeff, like Cinnamon and probably some others on here. You know, the work is starting to go out and get bidded here very soon with them going out Friday and then some follow-up meetings happening. So take a look at that. And then I want to hand it over to Afton Walsh to give some announcements at Walsh. And then if anybody else wanted to make an announcement, please raise your hand. And if no hands raised, I'm going to release y'all to the rest of your evening. Go ahead, Afton.
Thanks so much. I will make it brief. I have my colleague, Megan Herteg, is also here, project manager, to talk about 2 upcoming projects, one that will be going out to bid next week. And we have a very quick slide deck, like 2 slides just with basic information. So let's see.
Yes, can we let Afton have the ability to share her screen if she doesn't already?
I think I can. Let's see.
Okay, perfect.
Did that work? Okay.
Yes.
You can see it? Great. So I'm Afton with Walsh Construction. We're a Northwest general contractor that builds a little bit of everything, but does predominantly affordable housing and different types of multifamily housing. So our first opportunity that we want to talk about today, here we go, is a project for SEI on Mississippi. Megan, why don't I let you jump in and I'll get you the video and you can talk about the specifics.
Thank you, Afton. Hi, everyone. Megan Hertag, project manager with Walsh Construction. This project is with Self Enhancement Inc. is the owner, and MWA has been doing the design. It's a 5-story wood frame, 30-unit building for affordable housing located on Mississippi Avenue. Building will have studios, 1 and 2 bedroom units for families, community spaces, and on-site support services. The project will be breaking ground. We're looking at June this summer. All trades are open for bid. We are going to try to get some early award for electrical and shoring. Prevailing wages, we will have Boley and Davis Bacon. It's a 5-story building, so we've got all of it. We do have a 30% MWSB goal, Section 3 apprentice requirements, and a sustainability certification through NGBS. General schedule, it is going out to bid late next week, and then we will follow that up with an information session. If people want to be invited to that, please let me know and I can get you the invite on that the next week after that, probably the 19th or 20th. Questions due to the architect the week after that. The architect will answer those questions a week after that, and then bids will be due. So about a 4-week turnaround on this one. I see a hand up before I move on to the next one. Deborah?
Yeah, Deborah's got a comment she wants to make on behalf of Prosper Portland. So I don't think she has a comment on the project.
I'll just add that there isn't a specific kind of northeast business goal for this one, but obviously given the really wonderful work that SEI does in that neighborhood, that would obviously be amazing. So those of you, I know a lot of you have probably supported SEI over the years in a variety of different ways. So that would be really amazing to have your participation in the project. So please take a serious look if you're available. I'm looking at you, James.
Yeah, there's some members that have went through SEI for sure.
Yeah.
Some of them not even on the call. So we'll make sure they're aware of this package. And I think you put it in the chat, Afton.
I will. Yes.
Okay.
If I haven't already, I will. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sounds good. Megan, did you have another comment?
I think, does Joe have his hand up? Was there a question?
Well, Joe's with ODOT, and I think he posted
You're
something.
okay.
I'm gonna call on Deborah first and followed by Joe because Deborah already had me, Joe. But
I got it.
if we're done, I just want to appreciate if there were any questions related to y'all's opportunity before I move on.
I do have a second project I wanted to talk about real briefly as well.
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So we have another project going out to bid in late March called Alyssa Day Gardens. It's with the Pier Company, designed by Holst, 4-story wood frame, 31-unit building. It's for recovery housing, located on 89th and Powell. So this one is going into for permit actually late March and will be going out to bid in June, start of construction in the fall. So we're a little ways out on this one, but did want to let people know about it. If there's any questions, it'll be a similar bidding schedule to SEI. So it'll be about a month. And all trades are open. So MWSB percentage goal is 30%.
And no prevailing wage on this one, just pointing that out. I will say, this is a really great size of a project for anyone who maybe is a little bit newer to commercial. This is a nice size. So just if that fits your kind of company and your growth trajectory of your business, take a look and feel free to always reach out to me or Megan with questions. There is no such thing as a dumb question. Okay, I think that is everything we have. Thank you for the time. Oh, just one quick, I always want to plug and remind people that you can always find our bid opportunities on our website. And then we do send out email notifications through iSquareFoot. So sometimes it gets a little caught in people's inboxes or, junk folders. It actually comes from iSquareFoot. So just kind of make sure that you aren't blocking us unintentionally. And then that's how you can link to all of the documents and get all the right contact information. And that is it. So thank you all.
Thank you, Afton and Megan. Let me now turn over to Deborah, followed by Joe.
Okay, thank you, Nate.
Yep.
I am a little technically challenged, so I don't know if I can share my screen. If you all give me access, can it just pop up or
Yep.
how's
If you
it?
go ahead and click on it, I think you should be good.
If I just click on share?
Yeah, I think you should be good. Try it. And if it tells you you can't, then we will try to give you clearance, but I think you should be good.
Well, nope, it's just like letting me upload it to a file.
Oh, when you hit the
So
share
like,
button.
will you give me access to share?
Yeah, team, have we opened access? Because I know Afton was able to share screen and
Well, if not, that's okay. I can just talk about it. I kind of
yep, and
wanted
then
to
you can
show
send
the
us an
photo.
email and we'll get the info out if that's easiest.
Yeah, so I did add this information in the chat, but I do want to share that Prosper Portland has plans to renovate the 910 building, which is located at 910 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right across from the Oregon Convention Center. And it is being renovated into a food hall event space with an adjacent food cart pod on the east side of the lot. If you've seen those sort of pods before. And an RFP for the CMGC, Construction Management General Contractor, will be issued in early March. So it should be actually coming out, I think, next week. Um, and there will be a mandatory pre-bid meeting also this month, and the team will be chosen in April. Construction is scheduled to begin in September of this year, and the scope will include major renovation of the west building, demolition of significant structural elements on the east side, retaining only portions of the northeast roof and essential structural framework, and infrastructure development to support a food cart pod on the southeast section of the lot. And the anticipation is to open this food cart in July of 2027. In the chat, I did leave an email to contact our procurement person, Caleb Combs, for additional information. And also, all of our RFPs will be on the Prosper website. So thank you for this time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Deborah, as always. And we'll make sure again that we circulate it, but it is in the chat, so hopefully folks can grab it. But we'll make sure we share it for those who couldn't be here today. Joe, go ahead. You've got the floor.
Thanks, Nate. I just wanted to highlight, I put in the chat, ODOT has some solicitations for commercial HVAC, and we have some upcoming ones that I've been tracking for commercial roofing. So if you're interested in either of those, please reach out to me. They'll be posted on Oregon Buys. And then finally, we have our partnership conference with the American Council of Engineering Companies on May 12th, and our Office of Engagement and Civil Rights at ODOT is sponsoring DBE or ESB consulting engineering firms that are interested in attending. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you'd like to apply for a scholarship, you can fill that out and see if we can get you down there to Salem. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Any last presenters before I make the executive decision to let y'all loose and not hold you hostage? Any last scan of presenter or announcements? All right, I know all y'all, if you ain't already at home trying to get home, to go walk them dogs or do whatever you got to do. So again, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the March virtual meeting. Please do try to attend the trade show in April if you can. We've got a lot of more great events to connect this year. So without further ado, thank you for your time this afternoon and meeting adjourned, and we'll see you next week, if not sooner. Everybody take care. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
See y'all later. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's go. All right. And thank you, NAMC team. Signing off.